How to survive a winter blackout when the grid collapses, your state's on the list, and the government's already writing you off. The power's out, not for an hour, not for a day, for weeks. The kind of blackout where frozen pipes burst inside walls, where grocery stores go dark and never reopen, where your neighbor's generator hum is the only proof anyone's still alive. No heat, no light, no answers. Just cold, silence, and the creeping realization that your state was always on the list. You just didn't know it yet. Welcome to the 15 states most likely to face a winter blackout. Not a brownout, not a rolling outage, a full system collapse, the kind where the grid doesn't just flicker, it breaks. And when it does, you're not getting a text alert, you're getting frostbite. No worries? We're mapping the danger zones, exposing the infrastructure rot, and teaching you how to survive when your state goes dark. Let's start with the nightmare scenario, Texas. You remember February 2021, the Lone Star State, frozen solid, power grid on its knees, people burning furniture to stay warm. That wasn't a fluke, that was a preview. Texas runs its own grid, ERCOT, isolated from the rest of the country, like a survivalist compound with no backup plan. When the cold hits, natural gas wells freeze, wind turbines ice over, and the state can't import power from anywhere because they built their system to stand alone. Except it doesn't stand. It falls, hard, fast, deadly. The science? Gas-electric interdependency. Power plants need gas to generate electricity. Gas pumps need electricity to move gas. When one fails, the other collapses like dominoes made of ice. Texas is a closed loop with a single point of failure, winter, and it's coming again. If you're in Texas, you're not preparing for if the power goes out, you're preparing for when. Stock propane, get a generator, learn to heat one room, not a whole house, because when ERCOT fails again, and it will, you're on your own, just like last time. Number 2, Massachusetts. The state that survived the revolution can't survive a fuel shortage. Massachusetts runs on liquefied natural gas shipped in by tanker. When Boston Harbor ices over or a storm delays shipments, the state's power plants start gasping. No gas, no electricity. No electricity, no heat pumps. No heat pumps, no survival. The state's infrastructure is a Jenga tower built on imported fuel, and winter is the hand that pulls the block. Worse, the state's been shutting down nuclear and coal plants in the name of green energy, but the wind turbines offshore freeze and solar panels get buried under snow. So when demand spikes during a polar vortex, there's nothing left to burn. Just cold, dark homes and a government scrambling to explain why the lights won't turn on. If you're in Massachusetts, you're betting your life on a tanker ship making it through a storm. That's not a plan, that's a prayer. Get a wood stove, stockpile firewood, learn to cook without electricity, because when the harbor freezes, so do you. Number 3, Michigan. Ice storms don't just knock out power in Michigan, they erase it. Trees coated in inches of ice snap like toothpicks, taking power lines with them. Rural areas, already isolated by forests and lakes, become unreachable. Repair crews can't get in, you can't get out. You're stuck in a frozen cabin with no heat, no phone signal, and no idea when help is coming. The science? Ice accumulation. A quarter inch of ice weighs 500 pounds per power line span. Half an inch? Over 1,000. The lines don't sway, they break. And in Michigan's dense forests, every downed line is a multi-day repair job. Multiply that by thousands of miles of rural grid, and you've got a blackout that lasts until spring. If you're in Michigan, you're not waiting for the power company, you're becoming your own power company. Get a generator, learn to tap trees for heat, insulate everything, because when the ice comes, the grid doesn't just fail, it disappears. Let's continue with number 4, Illinois. The state that survived the polar vortex of 2014 is about to face it again. Illinois has been shutting down coal plants faster than it can replace them. When temperatures drop below zero and turbines freeze, blackouts fill the gap. The science? thermal stress. Metal contracts in extreme cold. Transformers crack. Circuit breakers fail. The grid isn't designed for prolonged sub-zero temps because it was never supposed to be. Climate chaos doesn't care. It breaks things. If you're in Illinois, you're gambling the next vortex won't be as bad. That's denial. Get a kerosene heater. Stock batteries. Stay warm without electricity. Because when the grid goes down, the lights go. And in the dark, anything can happen. Number 5. New York. The city that never sleeps is about to take a very long, very cold nap. NYC's grid is ancient. Some parts date back to the 1920s. Upstate gets buried in lake-effect snow, isolating towns. Downstate, a single substation failure cascades into a citywide blackout. At 10 degrees, that's a death sentence. The science? Cascading failure. When one part fails, the load shifts to another. That overloads and fails. Then another. It's a chain reaction, almost impossible to stop. New York's grid is duct tape and hope. Winter is the stress test. It keeps failing. If you're in New York, you're one substation away from chaos. Get a battery bank. Stock water. Stay warm without electricity. Because when the grid goes down, the city goes dark. And in the dark, anything can happen. Number 6 through 15. The rest of the list. Maine, isolated, forested, unreachable. Repairs take weeks because crews can't get there. Wisconsin, extreme cold. Infrastructure built for -10 degrees, not -40. North Carolina, unprepared. Infrastructure not winterized. Ice storms are rare but devastating. Virginia, data centers, massive power demand, even in winter. One failure and the internet goes dark with the lights. Ohio, transit hub. When neighboring states fail, Ohio's grid absorbs the shock and breaks. Pennsylvania, gas dependency. When heating demand spikes, power plants run out of fuel. Vermont, mountain terrain. Snow blocks roads. Crews can't reach down blinds. New Hampshire, same as Vermont, plus reliance on heating oil that runs out fast. South Carolina, ice storms, rare but catastrophic. Trees and power lines not built for it. Minnesota, the most prepared state on this list, but even they can't handle -50-degree equipment failure. Here's the science they don't teach you in school. The grid is fragile. It's not designed for extreme weather. It's designed for average weather. When winter stops being average and starts being apocalyptic, the system breaks. Gas freezes, turbines ice, transformers crack, and the people in charge, they're not in the cold. You are. So here's your survival guide. Heat one room, not the whole house. One room. Seal it, insulate it, live in it. Get a generator, not a big one, a small one. Enough to run a space heater, charge phones, keep a ridge cold. Stock propane, kerosene, or wood, whatever you can burn safely indoors. Because when the power's out, fire is life. Water. Fill bathtubs before the blackout. Frozen pipes mean no water. No water means no survival. Food. Canned, dry, calorie-dense. You're not cooking gourmet meals. You're staying alive. Community. Know your neighbors. Share resources. Lone wolves freeze to death. The blackout is coming. The only question is, will you be ready? The grid is a house of cards built on a foundation of ice. When it falls fast. No warnings, no second chances. Just cold, dark silence, and the people who prepared versus the people who didn't. You're not waiting for the government to save you. You're not waiting for the power company to fix it. You're saving yourself. With science, scraps, and the grim determination to survive one more frozen night. The map is drawn, the states are marked, the winter is coming, and when the lights go out, you'll be the one still standing.